Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. We're talking with Heather Anderson with Real Estate Concierge. I'm going to give you 2 ways to get in touch with her. 855-732-6700. 855-732-6700. The 7-week course boot camp that these guys are providing to you. You can go to owntx.us. Heather, once they go there, and I think it's so interesting because I could give a boot camp on how to prep for buying a house. Mm-hmm. But there's moving parts to everybody's situation. And I think the one thing we're trying to hit on here is don't be the professor of the knowledge you're obtaining to decide whether you can or can't own a home.
Right.
And so, believe you can, right?
Yeah.
You're renting, but so when they sign up for this course, what's the first thing you tell them?
Okay, so we dive right into financial fitness, right? So like you made a really good point a minute ago, Willie. It was like, you're right. Don't be like your own creator of your knowledge, right? And decide. But you know what? I think people do that.
They do.
But I don't think they know who to trust.
Hey, I've been doing this for 8 years, Heather. And I have a lot of people come to my website, call me, and they go, Mr. Lambright, I don't think that you're right about everybody can own a home. I go, really? I'll say, I'll come back with something witty. If there's a will, there's a way, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think in your heart and soul, you have to decide whether or not you want to own a home.
Yeah.
How do you decide that? You have all the pros and cons, right? Mm-hmm. And so I've actually had people come to me and say, I'll never come up with a 20% down to buy a home. Mm-hmm. Well, there's no 20%
right
programs out there. So that tells me right off the bat they're uninformed about their can-dos and their want-tos.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah, that's a big fallacy. A lot of people think you need 20% down. You absolutely don't. Yeah. If you're a veteran, serve for our military, our service.
Did you say veteran or surfer?
No, if you're a veteran.
What does surfers have to do with down payment?
Serve for our military.
Oh, server. Okay, I got you.
Okay, they serve for our military. That's 0% down, right? But like if you're not a veteran, then 3% down could be the lowest.
Yeah. I want to back up a little bit. When they come in and they go, okay, I want to get in this course, Heather. Mm-hmm. So when you first say, let's dive into your finances, I got to cut all that short. You got to have a job in order to obtain financing.
Got to have a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they come to you and say, I got a job. I've been on the job for, you know what? My brother-in-law told me that I hadn't been on the job long enough. And, for the last 3 years, he's told me that. Mm-hmm. Well, that tells you automatically that they're going to qualify. Right? So go ahead. Explain yourself.
Okay. So, again, we have to, before we can begin to understand where we're going, we have to know where we're at, right?
I agree.
Okay. So like you went to the ranch this weekend, right? Mm-hmm. When you went to the ranch, like you just hopped in your car and just started driving west. Mm-hmm. You probably had an idea of where you're going, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So a lot of people dive into things and they really don't know what the goal is, where they're trying to get. They don't know how to build that. So we really try to help them do that. We meet people where they're at, okay? Mm-hmm. And so we have to assess where we're at first, and we build a balance sheet and we build a cash flow statement. And
interesting.
I know. In those
What's
terms,
the purpose of those?
So that is to understand like what our money looks like and what our money is being spent.
So that goes back on you, our listener, being honest with them. Now let me ask you this, because there's a lot of people want to ask this, Heather. This is proprietary information, correct?
Yeah, proprietary.
It's not shared with anybody.
Nope. We built it.
You better not be doing that now.
No, we built it, created it. Yeah. It's what we think, what's built.
And this costs $0.
$0. A financial assessment. Like, we're not financial planners, but what we do in real estate is so based on money. It's so based on cash positions. It's so based on like where we're at and what we're trying to get to. And we try to really, again, meet people where they're at. Like, I am not any other person than the listener I'm speaking to right now. I'm just a normal girl that learns some stuff, that wants to try to teach people.
I'm going to say this to you, Heather.
Yeah.
Somebody comes to you and does this.
Yeah.
It really gives you good, solid, in the industry knowledge about what you're capable of doing.
That's right. Knowledge is power.
Yeah, I get that. Knowledge is power. That's why people come to Real Estate Talk each Saturday and Sunday. But the ownership or the success of this program is based on you, my listeners' ability to do this. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
You can't overinflate what your income is, and they're going to get all kinds of information from you. But you got to have income.
Right.
You got to have income to pay for a house.
That's right.
If you're renting right now, you have income.
Right.
Right. Now, if you're renting and you're getting, got 3 roommates, that ain't going to work in real estate.
Right. Right.
You're not going to qualify based on having 3 roommates.
That's right. That's what we call gravy. Because if you have 3 roommates after you qualify and then you charge them rent, that's gravy, right? That's gravy. But we have to have the substance. You got to have the basic meat and potatoes, which is your stuff to qualify to get in the door.
So you go through and do all this.
Yeah, cash flow. So cash flow, just to explain what that is, cash flow is how you spend your money, okay? A cash flow statement is like an ongoing financial document which kind of tracks your income, how you spend your income, and then what the difference between those two is, all right? And then like a balance sheet, it's a snapshot of your personal net worth. So what do you own and what do you owe, all right? And those two things work together because the balance sheet is the thing that kind of sort of stays semi-stagnant, where the cash flow fluctuates much more rapidly. But as the cash flow filters through the balance sheet, it might pay off assets more. So now you own more of this asset, like your car or your house or your boat or your motorcycle. Or an antique or whatever, right? Yeah. So the balance sheet and the cash flow statement work together. And so we just want to try to teach that on a very easy level. It took me years to understand what these documents were. So as we built this, I really tried to think like, how do I make this really, really, really simple and not scary to understand?
Can you sell a asset in order to get the down payment on a house?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Does it have to be seasoned for any length of a time?
2 months, typically, in your account.
Yeah. So when you talk about that motorcycle, that's been sitting in there, gathering cobwebs, I could sell that, and that $3,500 would probably be the down payment on an FHA loan.
It probably would, know. So you're right. And so like on your show, Willie, I've said many times, I can pretty much teach anybody how to begin to prepare to buy a home within a 6-month period, right? About 80% of the population, I always work in kind of the normal, like 80% middle group, because I got my 10% outlier on one end and the 10% outlier on the other end, right? If you have 7 foreclosures, that statement is not true for you. I cannot help you buy a home in 6 months. But if you're just a normal blue-collar girl like me, right, that kind of has their stuff together, kind of got good credit, kind of have a job, I could probably get you where you need to go, even if you think that's an impossible.
With good guidance, anything is possible. Our friends at Real Estate Concierge, Heather Anderson, get to know her, 855-732-6700. Again, 855-732-6700. Or go to OWNTX.us. Find out about this 7-week course to prep you for buying your first time, big time home. Now, Heather, we've got to go to break. Talking about a balance sheet, talking about a cash flow statement, very important tools. Got to have a job. When we come back, we're going to be talking about what?
We're going to be talking a little bit more about financial fitness because it's key. And then we're going to hop into like, how do I get that down payment?
Yeah. How do you get the down payment?
That's
Maybe.
right. We gave an example already. We're going to give you a few more.
Yeah. Mom and Dad's not going to give it to you. Well, there might be another solution. Let me go through the numbers here real quickly right before I go to break. Real Estate Concierge, who I endorse for first-time home buyers. And they put together a 7-week course that will help you. It's a boot camp if you want to get really, technical about it, in teaching you the correct information to and thought process to have in buying your first home. 855-732-6700, 855-732-6700. You can go to owntx.us. Again, owntx.us. Heck, man, I just call Heather, 855-732-6700. When we come back, we'll tell you more about this boot camp. You know it, friend. We'll be back in a Willie Scotch.